I wish I hated anything the way Anthony Rendon hates baseball.
Saying something like that out loud is obnoxious and completely delusional and insulting to anyone who works hard, really hard, for like basic pay.
Former ESPN employee Michelle Beadle ripped into MLB player Anthony Rendon.
You just gave me the breakdown of how many games this has played for the amount of money he's played for. And this ass wants to come out and say, I wouldn't wish this life on anybody. I went from almost laughing to this gentleman to now despising this man. I'm angry on behalf of anyone who actually goes to work, God forbid, 2 to 3 jobs to put food on the table and pay rent and make sure their kids have what they need to go to school and barely are getting by. That's the life I don't wish on somebody, you ass. Why would you say something this out loud on the day in which you are just now showing up for work for the beginning of the season? Bro, read the room.
And seeing your kids maybe following in your path.
Yeah, definitely not following in my path. I do not wish this life upon anybody, obviously.
Who said he does not wish being a pro athlete and making $245 million on any person. From Fox Sports, Rendon noted that getting married and having 4 kids has changed his perspective. Rendon said if baseball gets in the way of those things, he's leaving. He also said he's been weighing the pros and cons of staying in baseball since at least 2014. Hard to disagree. Very, very hard to disagree. Now, from The Athletic, Rendon signed a 7-year, $245 million contract before the 2020 season. $245 million. And his contract is still set to make more than $115 million over the next 3 years. That leaves the Angels in the unenviable position of having to work with a player who is unclear about how much he wants to be playing for the Angels. He declined to say how many games he wants to play, but noted that he's coming into spring with a plan to try and rid himself of injury issues. He had a relatively normal offseason after getting fully healthy in late November.
But at the end of the day, this is what you sign up for. And it drives me absolutely nuts to see guys. If this is what you believe, just keep your damn mouth shut. You don't got to say it. Because now, guess what? Everybody else that's going to come into that locker room is going to say, oh, well, we're third on the list here. We don't mean anything. And that's just, to me, a cancer in the clubhouse.
Former closer and World Series champion Jonathan Papelbon, an ex-teammate of Rendon's, went in.
Every single day this guy shows up to go out, it was like a chore. And he strictly got away with just raw athleticism and raw talent. Now, you can do that. If I'm the Angels GM, I'm trying to get rid of this dude as fast as I can.
And from Fox Sports once more, Rendon has dealt with numerous injuries and never appeared in more than 58 games in a season over his 4 years in Anaheim. Most headlines involving Rendon during 2023 were about him feuding with fans and media members while he was sidelined. Inside of his comments, which I truly believe were not broadcast, was him saying, "You think I like going under the knife and being in pain the majority of the time? I can't pick up my kids. I can't walk. You think I enjoy that? I don't want to do that." As always, if there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. And please, 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 if you can, we are doing a membership drive right now to keep the network afloat. If you can support us, go to tyt.com/join. There are many things that I disagree with, and there are some that I agree with. First off, we always say not to judge a book by its cover. And we truly do believe that money cures all ills, when many of the time it is the root of all evil. Anthony Rendon making this money and saying no one wants to live this life is just a tough thing to say to many people who, as Beadle rightfully put, can barely afford rent. We have to pay for medical bills. We have to pay for gas. We have to pay for groceries. We have to pay for cell phone bills. We have to pay for everything. So this guy playing a sport, being really good at it, when, according to Papelbon and even Rendon, it seems like it's not a priority to them, really says something. It also says something that if it was a priority, how good could he be? One year, I believe he was a top 5 vote getter for NL MVP. What if he was fully committed? How good could he possibly be? That's on him, and it's also on the team that signs him. That's not on us. But what I will say is this. If he kept it at, look, in chronological order, it is my family, it is my faith, and it is baseball, no one would have a problem with this. No one would have a problem. But when he starts saying that, oh, my life is tough, and oh, you wouldn't wish this on anybody, it's very hard. It's a very hard sell. Because some people can't afford cereal. Speaking of, the Kellogg CEO said, people should stop whining and they should have cereal for dinner. It shows how unrelatable these people are. If Rendon was just talking about I have so many injuries, it's really, really hard. It's becoming harder and harder. The sports public is sympathetic to those things. Don't get us wrong. We are sympathetic to injuries. I believe that many folks in this space, fans that is, and even some in the media, have softened their stances on not calling someone a bust because they were injured. They just say oft injured or bad luck. I'm seeing where he's coming from, but it is Looney Tunes to say what he said when you are afforded such luxury in this world, and there are so many people who are struggling immensely.